This is the Here's the Deal podcast, and I believe we're on episode 33, I think, or 34 or 35. 34. Okay. We've got our fact checker, Jeff Brownen here, Max Baker Jr., Kerry Staton, and Rev Jones. I am going to step away from this episode and let these four cast of characters tell their story.
Are you sure you can trust us to do that?
How's everyone doing? I'm Max Baker, and here's the deal. So, today's very special for me because as these gentlemen that are here, not only are they my dear friends and brothers, but we've been together a long time ago. There was, what was that picture? 30?
Yeah, it was 30. It was 1995.
So in 1995, Rev Jones, Kerry Staton, myself, Jeff Brownen, done a picture at the Zoo Amphitheater with Ian Moore.
How about the diamond?
Diamond.
No, with the back of the diamond.
Yeah. Diamond.
And so here we are 30 years later. We just did another picture at the THC show at the Farmers Market. But I just want to say this, and I'll let each one of them tell some Max stories and just how they got in business and what they do in the business now. You know, but we all came together through what this podcast is about, music. We all became friends for each other's love for the passion of music. Every one of us sitting at this table has either been in bands, toured the world, put together many stages and shows, and ran clubs and promoter reps and everything for 30 years. And you know, we're just behind the scenes guys who've been able to do it a lot. So I'm going to start with Rev. You guys can pop all in. So with Rev Jones, I met you when I was 15?
Yeah, 85, 86.
Yeah, 15 years old. And you know, it was all done out of the fact that, hey, I have a band or this and that. And he ended up being the bass player for Forte. And Rev is like, I don't know, it's like my little brother. But he ended up, and basically he's one of the foundations of the Baker Boys. You know, because we all got in this business doing concerts. Rev went on to, I'll let him tell the story, but before I do that, Rev Jones is a world-renowned bass player. I'm honored not only to be his friend, but if you ask me who's the best bass player in the world, I'm going to tell you, Rev Jones. Because the fact of the matter is, and you know, I've been with this man many a times. You know, when we met Billy Sheehan, I've also his name been talked about by my idol Johnny Winter. One time I met Johnny Winter in Ardmore, Oklahoma, and he asked me, you know, I had this picture I wanted him to have signed. I still had it on my wall. And he's asking me, oh, you're from Oklahoma City? And I said, yeah. He said, you ever heard of a cat named Rev Jones? And I just started laughing. But, you know, I said, yes, I know Rev very, very well. But, you know, it was just, and I told Rev that. I told you that. I said, you know, but it was just for that moment of, you know, and that's why, to me, he's the best bass player in the world, because if cats like Rev Jones, people he's played with like Leslie West, blues guys, whatever he's played with, they all know his name. And with that, I'll introduce you to Rev Jones.
Yeah, that's the best part, is whenever they know your name. I got a quick story I got to tell you. So I was hanging out with Adrian Belew from King Crimson and David Bowie, and he never gets out away from his family. So we're at the NAMM show one year and hanging out. It was awesome. So the next day, I'm walking, you know, there's 100,000 people walking by, all these famous people, and I started hearing, Rev! I look over and it's Adrian Belew yelling my name. I just keep walking.
Right.
And the guy next to me went, is that Adrian Belew? I said, yeah. He won't leave me alone. But deep down inside, I'm like, fuck, Adrian Belew knows my name. That's awesome.
You know, so with Rev and then Kerry, you know.
No.
What are you trying to say, Max?
I don't know.
You know, with these guys to my left, they've done many different types of bands. Been in the Oklahoma scene. Basically, if you want to look at rock and roll, these two guys to my left have been way part of the start of the scene and still are in it today, to some nature. You know, Rev, playing in bands, touring the world. Kerry, playing in bands as I started to promote bands.
Yep. Toured the block.
And
Got all the way around the block too, didn't you?
Sure did. I'm back. I'm back.
So, you know, but for a long time we were together. I mean, open clubs.
Yeah.
Closed clubs.
Yeah.
Did we open more or close more?
You know, I don't,
About the same, probably.
but we also, you know, so tell me, Jeff, what do you think about these
you look
guys?
over there. You look over there at them. Well, tell me, Jeff.
Yeah, fact checker. What kind of facts do you have?
Oh.
That I can actually repeat.
Well, you know, some of our stories have to be edited to protect us.
The innocent.
Yeah, us, the innocent.
All right, so, you know, when I saw you the other night at the show, Rev,
Yeah.
we started talking about the little incident. Oh, excuse me. We started talking about the incident at Rock City, out in the parking lot. So there's a good story. Let's tell everybody about that.
Well, you already heard the main part of the story with the fight. My favorite part was as Max finishes kicking the guy in the face. He finally gets away. He's cussing all of us. He walks about another car, and our friend Chris Fay, who's about 6'7", about 300 pounds of solidness. They don't even have a degree of a belt that he is in martial arts. He comes walking up, and he looks at the guy and goes, "How you doing?" And he yells, you know, F you at him, and he got kicked about 4 feet off the ground. And Chris had these super tight pants on, too. It was like, pop! And Chris just looked at him like, what an idiot. Just walked, didn't even know. We're all standing there freshly out of a King's X fight.
Well, and then the guy went and got in the car and tried to run us all over.
Tried to run us. I remember.
That didn't work very well for
The
him
one
at
I
all.
remember, one of my favorites, Peter Criss show. People rented it, and they
Delquan Productions.
Yeah, Delquan, yeah. And so they had two of their stagehands and then the main guy. So they show back up at showtime. They got like tuxedos on at stagehands. Tuxedos on. They're in a limo that they rode in.
Roadies.
Yeah. And I just remember at the end of the night, that guy was yelling at Greg, who was the manager, pointing his finger. Listen here, Greg broke his finger.
And then come to find out he was an accomplished concert pianist or whatever.
Same night.
That was good times.
There was a fire up on the roof. I think it was the same night. It was the sign.
Oh, I forgot
And we
about
all
that.
ran up there. And we put the fire out. We didn't call the fire department because there was probably beer sneaking in the back from Party Quick Stop because we ran out of booze.
Oh, you can do that? I didn't realize you could do that.
No, you can't. But,
Well, you could do it to the point where you knew exactly how long it took you to get to the store and back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we would pull up, and I think it was your truck, right?
It was my truck.
His truck would go to the back door. We had.
It was Sean. It was Sean that was driving my truck.
Yeah. Yeah, he was 17, I think, buying all the beer.
We had stagehands and bar backs. Everybody lined up. He's here. Open the door.
He'd
buy for less. He'd buy them out. 17 years old, buying them out. Everything they had.
Truck. I remember one time he showed up and there were cops in the building. We had to have him keep circling the block until they left so that we could get our beer delivery. And everybody at the bar is like, I thought the beer was showing. It's closed.
You know, that was always a problem at Rock City. I remember we did fights there one time, and there was like 4 cases of beer And me and you went and got beer at a horse trough, and we had it there. And me and Max sold the beer from the horse trough. And then
good times.
Yeah, and then
it was great times.
Yeah, the higher than management asked us where the money was. We said, "What? You didn't go in on this."
This is how we're getting paid.
Your bar, but we sold it from our.
You know, I mean, same way with like.
I remember us all having to pool money, so right before we opened the door, so we'd have enough. We go buy
Everybody
enough beer.
throw their money together like it's an investment.
I had to keep track of all.
I mean, we
did what we had to do.
I mean, listen, we didn't come with here's your start cash. Here's it was all a hustle.
But we had some good times there.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still here.
And I think we also got to touch on the fact that the building was haunted.
It was haunted. Yes.
Yeah, was it?
Oh yeah.
How do you know?
Oh, I saw it.
Because he took his dog up there.
My dog wouldn't go where like Hey was sitting at one time. He says, "Hey, come here," whatever, and he goes, "Man, this ghost said, hey, come here," and tapped me on the shoulder, and my dog wouldn't even go near that area. He just bark at it. And the time the chair slid from
I wouldn't forget. We were all in there. Doors locked, taking turns going to get a new round of waters or sodas or
beverages.
And I remember walking back, and the whole time you could see the door. There's no other light, and that chair come flying by. And I just thought, it's one of you guys. And I got to the door, walked in, and I just froze because everybody was sitting there.
Well, Hey used to live underneath the stairs, and he would say that he could hear footsteps coming down the stairs in the middle of the night, and he had a Peter Criss poster that was hanging that would sit there and flap in the wind. And then he'd run out there and try to catch the ghost and never could catch it.
Well, the PA several times.
Yeah, but come on.
Just come on, play, and we'd run up there, and it would stop before we made it up there.
Yeah.
There was no CD in the player or anything.
But music would come over the PA.
So with you, Rev Jones.
Yeah.
I've been able to see you in bands where, Forte, how you started with Forte. What was it, Legion Marcher first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Forte, and then how many albums did you do with them?
Like 4, I think.
And then basically back in the 90s, we would go to this thing called Foundations Forum, Concrete. Mm-hmm. And it'd be Burbank, and it would be a heavy metal convention where all these rockers took over Burbank.
Yeah.
Burbank Hilton.
First couple of years were at the Stouffer Concourse down at LAX.
And so and with the band Forte, we had got signed by Massacre Records, which was David Brown, and he was head of the American label. So we talked him into getting Forte to play, plus have a listening party in our hotel room. And so.
And when was this? This was 1990.
What year was it?
The first year we played would have been like 92 or 93.
Yeah.
And then we played the next year again. We played outside the first year, unsigned.
Right, outside in the parking lot at 10 a.m. So the hardest hustle on a Saturday.
Yeah.
The hardest hustle was what me and James did, because the other guys in the band weren't so hot on flyers or anything like that. We made our own flyers, and we just became we acted like we were part of the promo team. And we were giving out flyers and inviting people coming to our show, networking. Then we we drove out there, so we had this big ice chest that we had no money. we were poor boys just being there, but we bought a bunch of beer, and we'd wait till the end of the night and sell it when the bar closed, when they were going up into their room.
It was like 10, because the party didn't end till
2.
Ever, but they stopped selling booze.
They stopped selling it too. So we just became after hours, and we'd stand by these elevators and hand out flyers and everything, and tell them, "Hey, come to our party," And we had no idea that we were matched up with the Megadeth. What was it? Sympathy for Destruction or Hangar 18?
Yeah, I don't remember.
It was his new record, and we had the same slot time. Yeah. So, all this promotion that we did come time to play at 10 o'clock in the morning in the parking lot, the parking garage, not the parking lot, the parking garage. And we had a good crowd.
Oh, yeah.
10 a.m. we had a good crowd. And then came 5 o'clock for the listening party. They had to close down the Megadeth listening party because we had a listening party that took up the whole floor. And the Massacre record guy, like David said, what he had to pay, $20,000? He had to pay $20,000 in damages where people just throwing their cigarette butts on the mattresses, and I mean the promotion that me and James worked.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was crazy. And that whole weekend was crazy. Tell them about some of the times on the. We were talking about, them blowing the fire. And,
oh yeah. Well. My highlight memory always, concrete, was going in a room with Dimebag, and they had just finished.
That was when they were first come to California.
Yeah, they just finished Vulgar Display of Power. It wasn't even mixed
out yet.
And they took us in there, and they had 3 versions of Walk. One of them was like what you're used to. One of them was him singing more instead of the heavy voice, and the other one was distorted like Ministry. Same song. It's just how it was mixed. And I remember going in there, that little bitty jam box, and him hitting it and just staring at it, like, what is that? I've never, go. And we were just like, oh, it was like something just happened that's never happened. And I mean, it was just those times were always awesome. When they
played that night, when they played in that little bitty room and nobody was there except their fans and friends. What little friends they had on the West Coast, but I'd totally forgotten that you remind me of them flying from the Moscow Peace Festival straight to Hollywood.
Oh yeah, and it's funny that when we played at 10 in the morning that time, I remember telling everybody, all right, I'm at midnight, I'm going to sleep because I got to be up, and I remember getting in the elevator and that door opening, and there's Daryl, Paul Diano. Somebody else that I was like one of my heroes, and I was like, oh,
we're hanging out.
They're like,
buddy.
come on, it's this guy's birthday. And it was some guy from Rolling Stone. He was a photographer. It was his birthday. So, needless to say, I didn't go to sleep at midnight. We about 5 in the morning is the last thing I remember being in this room and doing 7 and 7 shots where you lean back and Daryl would have a Seagram's and he'd go, 7. Just fill your mouth up, you'd have to swallow it, and you're trying, I don't want to be a wuss, and, I kept saying, I got to play at 10. There's plenty of time. So I finally escape. I got to go back to the room. No idea where I'm at. I'm going through, like, service elevators and all this stuff. I'm lost. Finally get to the room, went to the balcony, slept out there, leaning over it, and got up the next day. I felt pretty good, Started braiding my hair on top, started getting dizzy because I was cross-eyed looking at the mirror. Realized I wasn't hungover, I was still hammered. And we get on stage, and it just sounds awful. The monitor in front of me is about to blow up. There's actually a picture of me looking over, saying something to the monitor guy, and he's going, and it has his hands out like, what? And he has an Egg McMuffin in one and a coffee in the other. What? Well, I don't understand. And
that's what you get when you're at 10 o'clock.
And it's funny because that whole night I partied with those guys. We're gonna be in the front row. Next day, never seen Daryl. Did see Paul Diano, and he said, I never want to see you or that Pantera guy ever again.
And it's like that was one of many nights as it went on. Didn't you go with me in Wichita when we took that band?
Me and Snake, they rode. Yeah, so we went and seen them. It was Crowbar,
and
My Sister's Machine, and Pantera at the Cotillion.
Yeah, because we'd done 3 dates. We done Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Kane, and then Wichita. Yeah. But I think you went with me, or no, you went with Snake.
Me and Snake came up there because we had shows.
One of you had a truck.
Yeah, he had a truck.
And they rode the back.
Yeah, so we went over there. And
what was the name of that place? That Rock Island?
Yeah. So we get in Snakehead, that S10. So me and Daryl are in the back seats that face to the center, and we're just sitting like this. And then it's Greg, and then I think there was 2 of the band guys from My Sister's Machine in the front. One guy sitting like on the little center thing, and the whole crew is in the back. And we're all pretty good at this point because the show's been over about 2 hours, going straight down that whatever that main road in Wichita.
Kellogg.
Yeah, Kellogg. Going straight down that. We get there, we walk in. So immediately, one of the guys starts moshing, and they come over. Security grabs him, and the owner ran over and said, "No, these guys are famous. Let them do whatever they want." Mistake.
And that was the worst thing to say, because by the end of it, he gets up there on the stage with it was.
Well, we were standing. Well, first we were over there punching Daryl, seeing who could make the biggest hole in the wall over by the bathrooms. Because those guys, they were awesome people, but if you were dumb enough to just hand them your guitar because they were famous, they're probably going to break your guitar. Because you're dumb enough to hand it to somebody you don't know and say, take. But so, they already said we were not getting kicked out. So everybody punched their hole, signed their name next to it. The security guy's just like standing there going, this is awesome.
I want to kill him.
So then, so we go over, and I remember me and Daryl standing in line to get drinks, and they called, "Hey, the guys at Pantera are coming up." So he hands me his wallet and says, "There's like a $20 in there. Get us some drinks." I open it. It's nothing but hundreds. There's no 20 to be found. God, really? So I get the money. I'm trying to shove it back in there. Got it in my pocket. I'm thinking, oh man, I'm going to lose his wallet. They play a couple of songs. Then they call me up, and Daryl kept saying, "Phil, get up here and sing. Come on, Phil, Phil and Selmo." And I get up, did Breaking the Law or like another thing coming or some Priest song, singing it. And this, I think Vince busted a couple of cymbals. He was just pounding, hitting them hard, and that headstock hit that mic about 10 times. And those guys didn't care. Whoever the band was, they were like, Pantera's playing on my gear.
And then like with Kerry, our little adventure. We went on to create a female dance troupe called the Midnight Dolls, and the stories that we know are some
X-rated.
Start the beeping noise now.
No, some of those adventures, explain to what we did and how we did it.
Well, we Max came to me and wanted to put together a burlesque show, traveling burlesque show. So we did that. We got a bunch of costumes, different costumes for the girls, and got 5 girls put together. 4 of them were dancers, entertainers. One of them was a hostess. And
with the mostest.
And without any rehearsal or anything
kind of like
that.
Journey.
Yeah.
I don't think you can say that, Max.
We put this thing together, and we did about 3.5 years.
Yeah, about 150 shows a year.
Yeah. All over the place.
The road.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Just, and now, what do you do?
What do I do?
How many times have I gotten you in trouble?
A few times, yeah. Well, not really trouble, just,
No, but okay, when you were the manager of the Red Dog.
Oh, yeah. He'd bring these big bands in there.
Motley Crue.
Yeah. Well, I almost got thrown in jail a couple times.
Well,
of course, anybody would if you're in there after hours.
Yeah.
With open containers.
Wait a minute. Didn't you get arrested? Weren't you on a trapeze?
That was, yeah. That was not Max, though. He had to do that. Yes,
same club, different.
I was one of the Flying Weenie Brothers.
Yeah, he had way less clothes on.
Yeah.
On that arrest.
What were you wearing when you got arrested?
Pair of socks and a hard on. That's about it.
On a trapeze.
What you got on?
Yeah. And they got me down.
How many times has that happened to you?
Only once doing that.
Okay.
Yeah. But there was other instances. Yeah, I got taken to jail with no clothes that time. Sounds bad. They gave me my clothes when we got to the jail, The owner.
That was nice of him.
Yeah, the owner of the place, they called him, and he come down and looked in the cop car. He goes, "I don't know him." I'm like, "You don't know this. You don't know this is what you don't know."
So let's go backwards a little bit. How did you meet me, James?
I think it was so we played that first show at at the Diamond with Power Lord, Legion Marcher. And then the next month.
The very first metal show.
Yeah, then you brought Oliver Magnum and Jimmy Randall's band.
Right. Oh, I don't know the name. What was the name of his band?
I don't remember. Yeah.
Where's my fact checker?
Yeah. It was.
If you say the right name, I'll agree to
it. It was Jimmy and the Hart Brothers, and Mike Filano was a drummer. I don't remember what they're called. Anyway, but that's when I met you. And then we did shows when you started doing shows at the Diamond after that. And then I finally started hanging out with you whenever you had your club over there.
Right.
Mad Max's.
Yeah.
For not very long.
And I went over because,
for a very short period of time.
So it was a short-lived fun trip.
Yeah. So Forte was opening for Fate's Warning.
Right.
And I didn't have money because I was rich. I didn't have money to get in, so I went over to the Forte house and said, "Hey man, you guys need a
roadie?
A roadie?" So I wanted to see the show. So they're like, "Yeah, man, cool." And it's the night before, and so we start drinking beers and
wanted to be Greg for the hand.
Yeah, and Greg started saying, "Hey, maybe you could, since you're not doing anything, maybe you can come over and play bass." Because I got him, Richard was playing bass for him. I introduced him to him, and they wanted him to play guitar. So I said, "Yeah, I'd come over and jam with you guys till you find a bass player." And Greg said, "Well, I wish you could do tomorrow." And I said, "Well, record the songs for me, and I'll learn them." So I went and learned like an hour of like Megadeth and Testament because it was all cover songs,
right?
And I went and learned them, and I played So that was I actually got paid.
So did you actually? Were you actually a roadie?
No, Richard. no, Richard played guitar at the show,
right?
And so, but we did that, and then I played like one other show with him, and then I didn't want to, play a bunch of Megadeth covers, and then.
So your first stagehand gig did not work out.
No,
you got promoted to bass player.
No, but then after that, so once Kinetics got here, I heard you guys talking about Kinetics.
Yeah.
When Kinetics got here. The first time I worked as a hand was, it might have been the Faith No More show.
Right.
Whenever you knocked what's his name out, when they were going to quit.
Yeah.
All the hands, you had the union hands, and Max said, "I'm going to hit you," and he said, "Just try it," and he was out. And Max called me and Roy and Greg and Mark Miller, whoever.
I need some help.
Whatever it was, hey, we need to hire you to come do the out.
Well, Max used to be quite a scrapper.
Yeah. Yeah.
We did some good shows then. 9 Inch Nails.
Well, Kerry saw me one time when we were in
Colorado.
We had got this great idea from David Huff, and he was the head of it. I was doing the financial backing. We were going to sell these shirts. We sold these shirts.
The Clintstone shirts.
Yeah.
I've got one somewhere.
And so me and Kerry and a guy named Mike Prince and Vince and Huff went to Colorado to sell these shirts. Me and Kerry, we were doing great.
Explain what the shirts look like.
The shirts look like the Clintstones.
It said
They were the Clintstones.
Hill
They
and
looked like
Billary.
the Flintstones.
It was
Hill and Billary Clintstone.
yeah,
Bill and Hillary.
No, Bill and
Hill and Billary. Yeah.
Hill and Bill. What was it?
Hillbilly.
Hill and Billy.
Billy Hill.
But
So me and Kerry were going around selling these shirts, and it was at a Rush Limbaugh bake sale.
Dan's bake sale.
Bake sale. And so we walked our ass off.
You can't even make stuff like this up.
Oh, no, this is a true story. So we walked our ass off through these towns. They had people on the highways selling shirts.
That would have been me.
And so me and Kerry were
Needed
down.
gas money.
We were down in the middle of it, remember?
Oh, yeah.
And then right by where Rush Limbaugh and the bake sale was. So, but anyway, after a long day, and this one dude, Mike, he was always complaining about something. Just
big old guy.
big old dude bitching, And so, me and Kerry, after we did all this work, we went to do something. We're going to strip bars.
We went to Mile High Saloon.
And
that was the story of itself.
Yeah. So
we was getting robbed.
We go to this after all day. We go to the Mile High Saloon, and then was that the place with the shower? Where they
with the shower.
You thought they were going to get robbed?
Yeah, we're sitting there on tipping row, not pervert, but tipping row, I call it. And
pervert row.
watching this girl, and she, she's doing her thing, and all of a sudden, all the lights go out. I thought, oh, we're getting robbed. That's the first thing I thought, And then this spotlight hits the wall, and this guy and this girl come walking down the stairway that was on the wall into a shower, and they take a shower together, and then that's done. The girl was laying on stage, the one that was dancing. Music starts back up, and then she gets up and finishes her set.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
like, what the fuck just happened? What the hell just happened?
So anyway, we go back to the room.
So anyway, like that's normal.
No, there's more. But wait, there's more.
There's always
More to that one. That's when she come down and she goes, when the table danced to him, he goes, well, I saw your string. And she got all mad. Well, why didn't you tell me? I could have made more money.
Why did I tell you? Could have made more money.
God.
Yeah. So,
Never met this girl in my life.
yeah,
Right,
she was
right,
all
right.
mad at him because he didn't say, hey, I see your string.
Yeah, for being
But,
truthful.
So we go back to the
She
room,
waited for us to be nice.
and Mike had hit
Yeah.
Dave Huff.
Something about his socks, wasn't it?
Yeah, he stood
Yeah.
by his socks. Had his shoes outside on the balcony.
No, you're thinking of Brian in his socks down in Texas.
No, that's the same thing.
this
This is
is-
Mike Huff,
This
yeah.
was real petty. And,
Mike Prince did
Didn't
it.
he end up going to the hospital?
No.
But
No,
he
on,
was all
on
beat
the
up.
way back is when you got him.
On the way back. So we woke up the next morning, and we had found a different way to go. We came 70 the first way. We were going to go through Guyman, cut some time off. And this Mike guy starts telling me that he ain't going over no mountain because
His heart
will explode.
Oh, wow.
And so
I want to see that.
and so
Wow.
and so we kept going, and I remember pulling into some small town. It was a Sunday, and there was like this
Right
first
before the
time I ever
mountains.
see the food
Yeah.
court, and they had this Kentucky Fried Chicken and this, and he's sitting there arguing with me about and I had a cast
Yeah,
on.
it broke
I had a
leg.
cast on. He's sitting there arguing with me about he's going to die if he goes over this mountain.
So you guys are sitting there staring at the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah, we're right
Yeah,
almost
and
in
he's saying
We're
he's gonna
almost
die.
Yeah.
like
He's
we're
gonna die.
like within a mile we'll be in it.
Did he
and-
not know where you guys were going when he got in the vehicle?
So, well, I was already mad at him because of what he did to Huff,
Yeah.
and the fact, man, we were going over that hill no matter what, with or without him.
Yeah.
And so these people
it
pull
may
up.
kill you.
No,
but we're going over
they're
the-
standing there and they're squaring off.
This family pulls up in front of us while
right,
we're standing there.
no, it happened like this. Trust me. Him and
fact
Max
checking,
are fixing
Kerry.
to get into it. And I'm thinking, oh, this is gonna be good. It's gonna be good too, because they're like two big bulls. This guy was bigger than Max, and then he swings at Max. Max goes down, and Max comes up with an uppercut, right to the chin. And right as he does, Prince goes up into the air, and this Pinto. Family of four pulls in, bang, and he lands right on the hood, bam, and they're all freaking out, screaming, ah! They're screaming, and Max looks at him and goes, "Now get in." He didn't say another word the whole way back. Didn't say one word. And his heart didn't explode, damn it. And I was ready. I was wanting to see it.
So you took him over the mountain and he was
Yeah.
fine.
Hey,
right
listen,
through it.
it was the only
Oh,
way
it was
home.
hilarious. It was hilarious. That family, it scared the hell out of that family.
The eyes, you should have seen their eyes. I can remember.
I'm
seeing
not
the
kidding you.
eyes.
It's the funniest thing you've ever seen.
But this is, but then there's been times when, Kerry's played part of being my driver, where we went from.
We've all been your driver, Max.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
we
but
don't like
We don't like the way you drive.
Like you, he's taking me to some cool places. One night we left Durant. The next morning we were like first in line to the what's it called?
Slum Fest.
The Slum American
Slum
Fest.
Fest.
Or,
Slum Fest. Slum
this
Fest.
dang
Yellow
Yellow
Wolf.
Wolf. Yellow Wolf has this bike run that he did. He would do 4 cities, and then the last one would be. He did shows at all of them, but I forget what the name it was called. But anyway, Kerry took me to the one in Nashville, and
Made a good time.
it was a great time.
You and I went and saw Yellow Wolf in Nashville.
But he had a meet and greet of 250 people, and I was wearing these overalls and a hat, and they came and got me and said, "Hey, since you can't go up and he's having a meet and greet upstairs in a wheelchair. I'm in a wheelchair. I can't get up there." And, this guy tells me, "We're going to do a special one with you and Yellow Wolf, because you can't get up there." And basically what they did was they cleared this area off. And it was me and him meet one another. And he had overalls on, and I had overalls on.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
I've got a visual.
But and like
I have a visual.
And like you've seen me before, we left each other, him knowing my first name, and
You leave that impression on me.
have some kind
people.
of friendship, just like Charlie Crockett the other day.
Right on.
Let's hope we get lucky on Ryan Bingham.
I got a story of why Max needs a driver. So we used to go.
I think we all do.
We used to go see.
Let's tell those.
We used to go to Tulsa to see bands. Later we got a bus where everybody bus up, but we'd have his van. We're coming back. I think it's Judas Priest. Van is full of people, and I was asking him, "You need me to drive? I can drive." He said, "No, I'm fine." So I close my eyes, and I wake up, and Max is driving, but he's like in between the two seats in the front, like looking down.
He does that all the
I
time.
said, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
I'm trying to find a CD. But
That's happened to all of us.
it was for a long time that he was like. So then, no, I'm fine. So then I remember, for some reason, because I
That's
was
what they'd make
young,
me
I went back
pull
to
over.
sleep. Then I woke up about an hour later, and we were pulled over at the halfway point. And he's taking a nap. I'm like, God. Pretty good. I remember the Judas Priest show. I was talking about it the other day up there. It was a painkiller. It was at the
Right at the
fairgrounds, yeah.
fairgrounds.
Testament Megadeth.
Yeah.
And we had that. There was that girl with us, and I think she was Greg Scott's friend. She just like a punk rock looking chick. She's headbanging, and the security came up and said, "You're gonna have to calm down, or we're gonna have to ask you to leave." She was in the back. And we're just like, oh, dude. But we had flyers because we had a show like the next week or something.
Right.
So me and Max had flyers, and so at the end, everybody's walking out. We're standing there handing flyers.
I mean, that's one thing with James. You really know the importance of street hustling.
Oh yeah.
You
And
know?
when they said no, you had one more flyer out, you're out of here. So we tossed about 200 flyers up into the air, and you're out. You're out. They made us leave. But
I mean, but hey, we done everything we could. We done that a lot.
oh yeah, that's what you had to do back then. Now you can't even do that. You can't even fly or anything because you have to sneak into somebody's house to hold it in front of their
their ring doorbell.
Yeah.
We can become the bandits instead of we're the show bandits.
Yeah.
We just go and not ring the doorbell so they can see it instead of take their package.
Amazon's not here, but I am. Here's the fun.
Kerry, I kind of feel like you ought to tell the story about our Lollapalooza weekend. Our Guns N' Roses, Faith No More, Metallica, and Max selling us tickets up in the city.
Yeah, $125 a piece. We was getting a good deal, we thought. But then he couldn't even give them away down there.
The three of us drive down there, and Max is like,
Y'all still mad about that?
yeah, we are.
Yeah, we told about that on episode 17.
It's 17.
I think it was.
But what we didn't tell him about was the hot dog incident.
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah,
Did we?
about
Yeah.
spilling the hot dog in the lap.
That was the one where we did, what was it? Guns N' Roses, Faith No More, and Metallica.
And then we
Then Ministry, Lollapalooza at the...
and then the rematch of
And
the
then we
Super
went
Bowl.
to the... no, we went and saw the Cowboys and the Redskins.
You guys
on
did.
Monday.
I went to didn't I go to
That wasn't the
Six
time.
Flags, wasn't it? Was that
Yeah.
time that you told me how to
But
sneak
remember
into
when
Six
we
Flags?
used to go to... Yeah, I did tell you how to sneak into Six Flags.
Hey, he drops me off. Drops me and my girlfriend or whoever drops us off and says, "Just go up there and just keep walking past that guard, and you're in." And then, okay, and they take off. I'm standing there. Okay, well, I'm gonna do this. And by gosh, and I've done it twice since then. You walk right in like you own the place. It's a service entrance for all the employees. I mean, if they catch you, I'm from Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Here's
didn't
my
know.
ID. I don't know where
I'm lost.
I'm lost. I saw people walking in. I came.
That was the David Huff trick. I mean, we used to go to, they used to have concerts there. And you know, I love the Bengals. I'm a huge Bengals fan, and they played there one time, and he's like, "Yeah, man, we can get in. Meet me here." You know, just all this crazy adventure stuff. And sure enough, it worked.
Yeah.
Well, back up. You just said you were a Bengals fan?
Yeah. Bengals,
I am.
Yeah.
I'm Susanna Hoffs.
Yeah.
Walk like an angel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She's still good looking.
I mean, and one of those songs that's famous by them was written by Prince.
Not Walk Like an Egyptian.
No.
Manic Monday.
Huh?
Manic Monday?
Monday. You know, it'll be that tomorrow. It's just another Manic Monday.
You guys got something against music? Why do y'all hate music?
Because Prince's estate will sue you for singing that.
Okay, well, turn it down.
We're sorry.
Right. Cut it.
Wow.
I'm trying to make the people at Paisley Park mad.
Prince is a state now.
Huh?
Nothing.
How can a state not have a name?
Yeah. Prince.
All states should have a name.
I know. All Staten is what it should be.
Hey, that's my insurance.
All Staten.
All state.
You're in good hands with me.
That's karaoke.
Yeah, Gary. Carry my weenie.
You know.
That's Mr. Mawini.
Yeah.
So.
Hell, I remember Huff would always have one pass for every show.
Yeah.
And he would call me and say, "All right, I need you to make copies." Because, you know, you can't, back then you could, probably the same, you can't go in Kinko's and copy a laminate.
Right.
But I'd also figured out, because I had a couple, they'd put these things under that would just elevate one area. So they had the pass, they'd put their finger on it, and it'd have a little piece of cardboard under it. You couldn't see it, but you could feel it. So if we did it, you know, then you could make them. Brian Denton, who was the manager there, he didn't care if I brought passes up there. So we would make passes.
They would just try them to make them on their off time to see how we could get them to perfect them.
But it's funny because when Huff would give me a pass, I would always keep the original. When I'd give him back 20 or whatever, I'd keep the original. So like MTV Music Awards, I got one year, and he was out. He got caught out there.
Yeah, I was with him. He got thrown out. You know, I mean, that was like
for bootlegging passes.
Yeah, for bootlegging passes and going. They had press areas, and you know, you guys know this. They'll give you either press C, B, or A. A is the one where all of them walk in. But if you're down here on C, you want to be in A. And, you know, it's like me, when I was taking photos and just roaming around, I just acted like, you know, the one thing he always said to me is, wherever you go, act like you should be there. And so, you know, we'd get into places with James, we just act like we needed to be there. And you know what? After a while, people left you alone, you know, as long as you wasn't cool.
Well, it always worked. Being one of those Max's Got Tickets times, the first time that we got back and met ZZ Top, it was all of us.
Right.
I think. I don't remember. I can't remember. Oh, Richard Arbuckle was with us. But we'd all got the tickets or whatever, and they had passes. You guys all had passes, but so I took the envelope that the passes were in that said what section, and I gave it to Richard. So he would say, "Oh, I must have lost the pass," and then he could show him that. Me, I didn't need a pass because when they said, "Okay, everybody line up here," I was right in the front. Everybody else had the passes on. They just assumed that this guy's got to have a pass because he's in the front.
Why would he jump to the front of the line?
Like, hurry up, let's get this over with. Come on. So we get in there, and there's like 60 people for the meet and greet. They had the table. So we go in and we perfectly, you know, stop where the food is because everybody else has to get their little finger food. Walk down, we're just eating right out, taking the chips, dipping them. No photos. Nobody could take photos, but we had it where there would be like two of us and then two people and two of us. So when they'd come up and, you know, Dusty would have a girl on each side and Billy would have a girl. So they'd come up, two people would jump in and we'd take the picture and then hand it over another two. Yeah. And then we got to the end and you had that gigantic picture for Billy to sign all that. And we got to sit there.
I still got that picture.
Yeah. Those are, you don't really have to have a pass.
You know,
we did it. Well, we did it at Billy Idol and Faith No More. we had 2 passes and we were trying to do the
switcheroo at Frontier City.
Coming in, coming out, and
me and you got the switcheroo down.
Oh yeah. Well, I just walked in. They were there, and I walked in. I had my passes, and I was like, just kind of the guy's just walking me through so he can check Max's pass, and think it's all cool. We get in catering, and all of a sudden I hear this voice talking to me, and I look over, and it's Mike Borden from the drummer in Faith No More, and he thought I was Mike Patton because we're the same height and the same color hair. So from behind, he was talking to me, and I looked, and he's like, "Oh." I'm thinking, I've been fucking catering and I don't have a pass. Give me a pass. I'm the singer. Well, hell, we did the Jane's Addiction show.
Hey, listen.
And it was sold out, like 3,100 people in the side hall. And there was probably 4,000 people outside wanting to get in. Me and Max made a couple of thousand in about 15 minutes because we'd walk out. We'd take 2 other passes.
We found the system, and it worked.
Go out right here. Who wants to go in? Right here, 25. All right, boom, $50, like that. We did this nonstop for like 30 minutes.
Till the crowd ran down.
Yeah, and then
some other worker
seen us doing it and got caught.
So they thought they would do it, but the problem that happened to them was the first time they did it, there was nobody out there in the hall because they'd all went through, so they got caught.
Yeah.
And the people we were working for tried like hell to get me and James. We've been watching the show.
Yeah, you got to do it. You got to do it quick. We were in and out. You got
to know when to do it. You know, and it was like we were just so young. We were just trying. You know, I mean, supply and demand. Everybody wants to get in.
Yeah.
You know, this was way before. It was way before anything. I mean, we were just hands.
That's it. That's all we were. Hands.
Just hands.
Just hands.
Just hands.
So, hey, man, you know what? I want to tell you guys something from the bottom of my heart. Friends for life.
Oh yeah.
And you know,
friends to the dirt.
Once again, it's all about all our love for music. And the passion and the things that we did and still do today are for the love of music, you know. And you're still in the music business. You're still in the entertainment business. You're still in the entertainment business, you know. So
so are you, Max.
I'm in some kind of business.
Yes, you are.
But you know, you've been listening to the Here's the Deal podcast, and what I want to say too is to everybody out there listening, thank you very much. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our stories and to listen to what it's all about. I think last week we acquired a new listener from Australia. You know, so we're in other countries, and from the bottom of my heart, I couldn't be more blessed than have people like you out there listening to what we do. And if it helps you, peace.
And just like Saved by the Bell and Zach Morris, best fucking friends forever.